for the beans, both for beans and for sunflower. So we are very happy with this cooperation with the PPP for us to invest in maize handling equipment, because we find that the problems the farmers get when they grow more than 10 or 20 acres is often harvesting and drying the maize. So we're now investing in harvesters and in dryers so that the farmers can also grow up to 100 acres or 50 acres of maize without getting problem on the harvesting side.
Well, this particular PPP, of course, is about conservation agricultural techniques. The project is aimed actually to support farmers, educate them on new techniques in combination with storage facilities and warehouse receipt system, so actually a credit scheme in order for the farmers to obtain more financial means to be able to buy their input supplies. So I think it's an integrated approach that will enhance the produce and the yields of the farmers.
One of the focus objective of this PPP project is to increase productivity. Of maize production and other rotational crops. And the second objective is to link to the market, linking the production to the market so that then the returns to the farmers are better. And the third and the most important objective is to actually provide food security for, first of all, for the farmers who are producers, and secondly, for the other urban dwellers and other people within the region.
I think one group is very important. These are the women and youth. What we also try to achieve is that they are more integrated into the production of maize, but perhaps also in other parts of the value chain. So it could be also that youth are going to develop businesses around seed improvements or input delivery. So we are going to try to work on the integration of women and youth also in this program.
Given the amalgamation of these significant partners, the Tanzanian farmer can and will remain at the center of the partnership. As the famous naturalist, poet, and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The glory of the farmer is that in the division of labors, it is his part to create. He stands close to nature. He obtains from the earth the bread and the meat. The food which was not, he causes to be."
Inches, 32, 34 inches deep. And you can see that this floor that we're standing right next to is probably about 8-10 inches lower than the one they're working on right now. They just continually shrink as you take the moisture out of them, and they just sink down. So if we're doing, on our farm, we're doing a Willamette, we might lay it at 36 inches and it'll come off at about 28 inches. So it just shrinks that much. The hops, we can go from 9 to 12 hours depending on the outside humidity and the temperature and how they are when they come in. So these are relatively easy drying hops.
Can I roll around? Can I make a snow cave in there?
You take the hop in your hand, and you have to get into the core with your finger, and that's what you have to have dry. You don't care about the oil or all the grease that comes, the lupulin from the petals. You get to the core, and that's how we know if it's dry. So when we were in there, to tell if the floor was dry, we'd reach our hands in about 6 inches down and take a few cones out and then test the cores. And if the cores are dry on about the first 3/8 of an inch, then it's done. If you just checked on the very top, it would still be wet. And if you reached really down there, they'd be cooked.
I grew it.
Twice.
Twice.
Taking the manure and using it as a bank, and then sucking the heat off of that bank and either heating hot water or generating electricity with it. So it can be done at all different scales, and it's very simple. It's just, you know, think about this room filled 5 feet high with manure, and having air channels down the center. This actually was one that they cut the air channels in. It was an existing building, and they retrofitted it. This is one that they're building from the bottom up. And what they've done is they put the PVC pipes in the floor, and then they put, you see in the next picture, they put a board there, and we're really trying to keep those holes from getting plugged up and keep them cleanable. They put the boards down, then we also put some carbonaceous material down on the bottom so that we're keeping nice, light, this is compostable materials there.
Now, do we need to sign anything to get our...
This facility actually produces 4 to 5 million BTUs per day with the system. And it's not, I'd say that system actually is this room halfway, about half of that room. And that's what they're producing. So it draws the material, it draws the heat through the pile. So we usually blow when we're composting. Those systems blow. We suck. So we're sucking it through pipes in the floor. So all that heat is captured. It goes in to heat the hot water. In one of the farms, it's actually running through the floors of a barn, so it's heating that barn or that facility. It's a heifer facility that needs a little bit of heat, not a lot of heat, but they're getting 130-degree water in those tanks. Another one of the operations actually uses it for wash water because they need that much. But it's looking at things more holistically because we can take the energy from that. So we have product upon product upon product. Then they're selling that manure after that or using it for their nutrient needs on farm. I just wanted to throw this one in here because people don't think about this, and that's composting liquids. We have problems with liquid manure. We have problems with whey, with acid whey from cheese and yogurt. The Greek yogurt industry is taking over. And there's a lot of acid whey out there that has to be managed. I was in Idaho a couple weeks ago, and they have a big plant that they're having problems with. In New York, we're trying to be the yogurt capital because our governor said we should be the yogurt capital. And it's a great aspiration, but we have to deal with all the waste that comes with all of that stuff. So this is a compost operation in Vermont where they compost 15,000 gallons of Ben & Jerry's waste each week. And they can put that in each pile each week. So we have to think harder about some of those liquids that we wouldn't have thought about using. It's not something that's easy to put into a digester. This probably could go into a digester, but some of them can't go into digesters. So we're looking at that kind of thing. Drum composters, they come in all different sizes. Some of our farms are using them for bedding recovery units. We're bedding our animals with partially composted manure. And I'm not advocating either way, whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. It seems to be working pretty well for some farms. But they're actually treating it for a couple days in those drums. And I'll just end with digestion. We really haven't achieved digestion for small operations. It just doesn't, we just don't have the economy of scale there. And I know other people are talking about digestion tomorrow. On larger scale farms, and we do a lot of digestion between human waste and animal waste. We have about 17 digesters or so on farms in New York right now that are generating energy and selling energy. So, and I think that's it.